Welcome to your Daily Dose. My name is Robert here with my pal Chris, feller dollar baby filmmaker from Survivor Type is what he's known for in the King world. And we met at the King Con convention, Las Vegas 2024, first ever. What was your expectation heading to the King Con?
So I may have had a slightly different viewpoint than some of the other dollar baby filmmakers because I am also a small press book collector, which is where King Kong started in. So I had bought a ticket before they ever announced that dollar babies were going to be involved. So I was already excited, but I was excited from a perspective of, I bought books from several of the committee members. Like I've literally bought books from Chris Webster, from Michael Mailing, like I have have am a little, not like heavily, but I'm a little bit in that world, already. And so then they announced the dollar babies, and I could not have submitted faster. I literally, I think it's probably they put the post up, and I think I probably had the submission in 15 minutes after. Like that's how I just jumped up. I was like, oh, I've got something for you, So yeah, but I was excited because I was looking forward to both aspects.
Yeah. So talk to me about the book side because while I am a constant reader and I love the books, I've never been much of a collector. I had a very good King collection at one point, and I think in the early to mid 90s, after multiple moves, college and all that,
Sure.
I said, I'm just going to turn it over. I'm just trying to purge things. I still regret that because I think I had at that point every book.
Yeah.
The series I have now is the Dark Tower series, and that's very meaningful to me because, as I told you, I won that contest, and they're signed by Steve.
Right.
The only
They're all
one I
signed.
don't
Yeah.
have, and they gave it away at King Kong, which killed me, was the Wind Through the Keyhole. I was like,
Right.
oh God, I wanted that. Talk to me about the publishing and the collecting world, how you're into it, what you know about it, because it was fascinating. I mean, people
Right.
were all over it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different aspects, but basically the fine point is there is a subset of publishers, generally called small press or fine press publishers, that do limited editions of, like, very nicely produced limited editions of these books that are often signed by King and the artists. And not just King, like some of the other authors there also have, like, I've got a couple Phil Fracassi, books that are small press signed, etc. But obviously King is the focus here. And they had some of the publishers who do those books for King, like Paul Suntup, and the guy from Fantasia Press. I can't remember his name, but
I know
he
you're
actually
talking about.
started the whole thing. He's the guy that kind of did the first one, maybe back in the early 80s.
So
Um,
we're talking about art, basically. These are people
yeah.
elevating a book to an art presentation because now you can present your book. I mean, I saw some of the work people did, like the cases they made for them.
Oh, so amazing,
So
huh?
thoughtful. I mean, the Shining one was by the guy at the table right behind us. I mean, you had the handcrafted labyrinth, the place for the book itself. The cover was stunning. How beautiful it was.
Yeah, that's Jesse. His work is King's Domain is his company. His work is absolutely incredible. But yeah, that is the idea, right? Is that the books are made with high quality paper, like really high quality paper, high quality binding, Smithsonian binding, high quality, sometimes leather, sometimes, but the outer shell, and then in papers, like every single piece of the book itself is chosen to try and match the work of the actual book. And then there's art. Usually they pay Francis Villancourt is, one of the he had the biggest line all weekend. He's so well known. And super friendly. He hurt his hand signing so much and drawing. Like that's how dedicated he was. And but his art is in a lot of these things. I have a lot of his art in some of my books, because he's utilized so often because he's so good at it. Vinnie Chong, same thing. Chad Claiborne, like those guys, and so yeah, the idea is to take the book and make it a work of art in and of itself, and then but also thematically, keeping thematically with the concept of the book inside, so that's and then they do have a premium price, and then on top of that, the collecting market shoots those prices into the stratosphere. I've been fortunate that I've bought enough. I've been involved in the community for, I don't know, probably been buying for eight to 10 years, something like that. So I can generally buy from the publisher when they put it out, and so my collection has appreciated very heavily because of the collector's market. But I haven't necessarily, with a few exceptions, I haven't necessarily had to pay a whole lot of money outside of the publisher price.
I love the idea of elevating something that already exists. People know of the work, and it's art on the merit of the writer, of course, King being who he is. And then, in my world, here it is, yes and exercise, right? My
Right, yeah.
nonprofit. You're yes anding it. You're taking the thing and making it something bigger. And the idea that there are only X number of them out there, of course, that's going to make everyone go, oh my gosh, we've got this
Yep.
tremendous value on this thing because there's only a few of these things. And, in a world that has changed so much with publishing, King's, that's something he's always been in front of, or at least interested in, because he knows how much it can affect the audience, and I think of The Green Mile, for instance. That was such an interesting publishing exercise, but he's done lots of things like that.
Yeah, and Green Mile is a great example that Subterranean did a signed limited edition. That's all hardbacks, right? Hardbacks in a slipcase of the
Uh,
same all six books, all six,
is it
pieces of it.
6 or 7? I forget.
It's six.
It is
Yeah,
6. Okay, I'm going
yeah.
to trust you.
I'm pretty sure it's six. I'm pretty sure. Now he's gonna go. No, I think it's six. I think it's six.
We'll find out in the comments section.
Right? Yeah. And they did it, and they did it. Sometimes they do artist versions, which is a little cheaper, right? So they have like I have the artist version, which is not signed by King, but it's still like a nicer, like gifty sort of edition with that are hardbacks, and then you could buy the signed. And they usually do like 2 or 3 different versions, and they increase in quality of materials and price as they go up. So
Excellent. Well, that what a great thing for all of our fans and those who are watching. We're getting different perspectives on why people are coming to the King Con,
right.
what we're about. And so thank you for shedding some light on something that I didn't know much about. We're going to come back for one more episode here. Thank you for being here on The Dose, and see you in a minute.